Hello, my name is Carrie from KMB Digital, and I'm a Pinterest and digital marketing strategist. Today I'm answering the question, is Pinterest becoming pay to play? Now, if you've been following online, whether or not you're like a hardcore Pinterest user or not, there was a whole lot of Pinterest talk in my Facebook feed. And what happened was a couple weeks ago, there was some sort of glitch. Pinterest had basically shut down a bunch of accounts. I personally had 3 clients that this happened, where all of a sudden you couldn't log into your account. They got emails saying that their account had been suspended for spammy behavior and just caused a big uproar. It was fixed within the day. I think by the end of the day, everyone had access again, but the after effects of that glitch still have people talking. And so some of the things that happened, people lost a lot of followers. Some people have had like a big dip in traffic and it hasn't recovered. And so Pinterest, we never got any like official explanation or word. One of the things that Pinterest does from every time and again is they'll go through like this mass clean out and clean out all like the spammy accounts. And actually now is a good time to do that because summer is typically slower on Pinterest. So maybe they thought there would be less disruption and accidents happen and like the whole thing exploded. But I wanted to share some advice today on things that you could do if you had heard this, if you're just kind of newish to Pinterest and all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, should I just dive off of Pinterest? Is Pinterest like going down the tubes or what? And so I'm going to share some of my advice because I've been doing this now and I've been on Pinterest for 5 years and I've seen a lot of different things. One is to stay the course. If you're newer if you're newer to Pinterest, Pinterest does have a cyclical nature. Usually in the summertime, traffic goes down, and that's just the nature. Most of the users, Pinterest are like the majority is in the United States, in the US. The weather, June, July, August, everyone is out. Moms are out with the kids. People want to be outside in the nice weather, especially like here, I'm in Chicago. Those are the best months of the year. And so you want to be out and not playing on Pinterest. And so notoriously, it's a low season. It usually picks up August, September, because then you go into the holiday season. Last year, so my advice would be to look back, if you've been on Pinterest for over a year, to look back in your Google Analytics. And even last year wasn't an ideal year because also lockdown started happening in March and April. And actually last year, at a time where it was notoriously slow, there were like record searches. People were looking at like how to make bread. Parents were in a flux, like what the heck to do with the kids. So there's like a whole lot of homeschooling, schooling kind of searches happening on Pinterest. And there was a ton of activity. And so even if you compare like this year to last year is not really a great comparison either. So there's been a lot of, just with the world today, a lot of things happening with Pinterest. And just don't let any of these things distract you. I mean, Pinterest is a long game. And I always explain to people who, when I have discovery calls and they're looking for these great returns, I need to give you the real deal because I don't want to promise you that, oh, Pinterest is going to be the answer to your prayers, and then you have a big letdown. The thing is, as business owners, we should be tracking our KPIs, and so we should already be doing this. You need to look at them over the long term. And even like when I do like Pinterest ad reports, and you can look at a snapshot in time, which is a week, but I also do like an end of the month review because it's better to look at things in a month overall picture versus a quarterly picture versus a yearly picture. And so you should look at these things as like a small snapshot in time over these different time periods. And so you need to really, instead of having a knee-jerk reaction, go back and revisit why you got started on Pinterest. Are you using it strictly just for like brand awareness? Are you a service provider and you want to attract clients? Do you want to increase leads by getting signups on your email list? Or are you a product-based business? Why did you join Pinterest in the first place? You need to review those analytics. And so like now it's mid-July. I looked at my analytics half year at the end of June. Google Analytics will tell you a lot. you don't have to be like this big in-depth dive, because I'm totally not a numbers analytics deep dive into Google Analytics kind of person, but I know enough to find out what I'm looking for. And so what I suggest is going into your Google Analytics and looking under where is your traffic coming from. And so for my example, the last 3 months, I've been producing these videos and I'm trying to add YouTube to my content strategy. I have a VA who helps post to Instagram as well, and then I'm on Facebook. And so I'm trying these different platforms besides my good tried and true Pinterest. And so I already knew, and why I was never active on Instagram was because Instagram was like the tiniest little blip. 1% of people ever clicked over from Instagram to my website. And so I just never put any effort into Instagram except for me, for my own personal enjoyment. If I remembered, okay, I would throw up a image, but for the most part, I scroll through it and then I enjoy other people's feeds rather than spending my time as a business owner, putting my time towards something that wasn't paying me back. And so like I made the intentional choice. I already had Pinterest under control. I already love Facebook, and a lot of my traffic comes from Facebook. And so I added YouTube. And so I picked YouTube for a variety of reasons. And then while I hired this VA to help me, I'm like, okay, let's try Instagram. And so now I have to reevaluate that because she was helping me post the static images. And now, of course, Instagram says, no, we want video. So that's a whole nother story. But I looked at only 3 months. And so I've looked at my Instagram has grown. My YouTube, which was pretty much non-existent, has obviously grown. But 3 months is not a long enough period for me to figure out if it's worth my time yet. I need to give it more time. Like with Pinterest, since it is a slower moving platform, I need to look at 6 months to a year. Also, when you're tracking KPIs, which could be like your follower growth, it could be, how many sessions you're getting over on your website, you need to track what's going to work for you, as well as it's besides the numbers, it's also like how much time it's taking you to produce content for that particular platform. Also, you can't really compare Facebook and Instagram to Pinterest and YouTube because those are like more search engine-y versus Facebook and Instagram are more engagement. So it's something that you have to look at the numbers, but then also add in like the time and effort to produce the content versus I may not spend that much time on Instagram, but if I'm getting a lot of DMs and I'm getting sales, then for that minimal amount of effort, if I'm getting people in my DMs and they're like interested in my courses or working together or whatever, it's that personal engagement. And so that engagement may be maybe something that I decide I need to put more time into. So look at your KPIs. The third piece of advice is to adjust your strategy. The things that worked on Pinterest 6 months ago may not be the things that are working for you today. And I have noticed that with brand new accounts, it used to take 3 to 4 months. And so I know this because I work with organic clients. 3 to 4 months is what it used to take to start building traction on your account. Now it's easily 5 to 6 months. And so Pinterest, it is stretching out to see return on your marketing. So that's why I almost say a snapshot in time. You really need to look at it at a year overall. But because that's happening, one of the reasons ads are more attractive is because it shortens down that time frame. And so number two, so knowing that one strategy, number two is that idea pins are now the new thing. And so along with like IG Reels, TikTok, this whole move towards video, Pinterest has pretty much done the same thing. They have something called idea pins. They used to be called story pins. And I like to repurpose my content. So mine tend to be like the carousels because that's something I can create on Canva and I don't have to record the video. But people, like if you notice now the change is like when you're in Pinterest and you type in the search bar, look at the results that show up. And this is really just happening in the last month or two that I've really started noticing that, is the majority of the top results are video, or you'll see it because it's either going to have a number, which means it's a video, or it's going to have like a number and like little slides because it's a slideshow. Those are the things that show up in the results on the top of your feed. And if Pinterest is saying or giving more weight to those types of pins, we as content creators need to follow the same. And so why Pinterest is doing that is because they can keep you on Pinterest longer, because us as creators, we want them to click on a pin and we want them to go sign up for our lead magnet. We want them to go to our website and buy something. We want to get them off of Pinterest as soon as possible and get them over to our website. Pinterest wants to keep you on the website or on Pinterest, the platform itself, because the longer you're on it, the more likely they can target you to click on an ad or buy something. And so Pinterest has encouraging their creators to create more content. So I would definitely start doing that. I honestly, when they first came out, I was not a big fan because I didn't find any value in them. And they came out, I want to say, I don't know, 9 months to a year ago. They were just coming out. I created a couple, but then I'm like, why do I want to do this? Because they're not clicking anywhere. They're not benefiting me. And so Pinterest they did take this into account. Some things have changed. So now what happens when you click on that story pin is at the end, a picture of your profile shows up and it's the link to your profile. And so now they can click to your profile. So they're still staying within the platform, but once they're through with your story, or I keep calling it story, it's an idea pin, is they can click on your profile. And so it's even more important that you have a well-designed profile. They're going to click. You hope that you can ask them, like on one of the suggestions or tips is, if you're creating that carousel type of idea pin, is on the maybe last or second to last slide, is to say, hey, follow me on Pinterest. That way you are gaining followers. It has been said that if you put in a URL because you want them to go somewhere, and that was one of my original thoughts, was I kept putting on easy to remember URLs, that if someone really wanted that product, they would remember that URL, type it back into the search bar, and then go to that thing. But it has been said that Pinterest doesn't really like that. And so I would discourage that. Just play into what Pinterest likes. Have the call to action, say, follow me. While they're there, they can click, because you know that the website that you've claimed, they can click on that and go to your website. And also engage. The way you can engage now, you can add a heart or a smile, you can click on something, you can send a comment. Pinterest rewards those story pins. I keep calling them story pins, idea pins. It rewards those pins by showing them more, because the more engagement they get, they're like, hey, wow, that's cool, that's getting a lot of engagement, let me show it to some more people. And so again, it's keeping the people on Pinterest. And my tip would be then to engage and then start creating your own idea pins. And so the other thing, because I'm all about repurposing and saving time, is all of those like tall, thin images that you create for Canva for IG stories, you can recycle onto Pinterest. Same with TikTok Reels. If you create the video for TikTok Reels, upload it to Pinterest. Do not pin from TikTok or do not pin from IG Stories. Upload them as original content straight to the platform. Also, one of the things that has changed on Pinterest is it depends where you live in the world, so that's my caveat. But in the US, when you typed on the search bar, underneath you had search tiles. Those have now pretty much all gone away. I had mine for quite a long time, and some people are freaking out like, oh my God, the search part has gone away, but it really hasn't, because the search tiles helped, but those often overlapped when you started typing in a word. So if I typed in chocolate cake and then chocolate cake recipes filled in, or chocolate cake gluten-free, those extra words after, those are all keywords, and the search didn't go away. They just took away those tiles. And so the search is there. The other way is once you type in a search term at the top, if you scroll down, there are going to be rectangles that say also recommended searches. You may have to scroll a little while, but usually they're on the left-hand side or the right-hand side. And so it's basically, if you like this, search for this, and they're all related. And so those are all search terms. You can also find them at trends.pinterest.com. If you haven't been over to use that, is an amazing tool. Not every search word that is in Pinterest is on Trends, but you can start typing in a keyword, and then down below it's going to have suggested searches. And so that's another way to get more keywords. So plenty of ways to find keywords without having those titles. So definitely, I think Pinterest, because of the way that they're keeping you on the platform, they want to target you with Pinterest ads. So between that and having the accounts take off slower, they're almost forcing us to be like the pay to play. So although they haven't come out to say it, I think that because that's how Pinterest makes money, they're now a publicly traded company. There's still room for an organic strategy, but if you want to speed that up, you need to pay to play. And so I think that's just the reality. And that's where these changes are coming from to keep you on that platform. And so that, in a nutshell, is what is happening on Pinterest. To keep up with the changes in Pinterest, you can visit my website at karriemarie.com/blog. You can read my latest blog posts. I have freebies over there where you can sign up. And you can check out more videos on my YouTube channel all about Pinterest and keep up to date on the latest thing with Pinterest. I would love to know what your thoughts are. Are you giving up on Pinterest? Because that is an option. We don't have to invest all our time if it's not paying off. I will be the first one to tell you that. Are you just getting started? Are you going to adjust your strategy? Are you like going full force? And I'm on Pinterest, love Pinterest, and my next step is investing in ads. I would love to know what you're doing, what your thoughts are. Drop them in the comments below, and I will answer them. Thanks a lot. Take care.